Good morning, Yankee fans. See everybody in the chat. I apologize for the late start there. Uncle Tat's having some tech issues, so Jonathan, you are correct on that one. And Donald, we had him for a second, and then Donald had some issues as well. So kind of going solo right now until we get the crew back together. But good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you for waiting. NFE, what's up? Medina, what's going on? OG the Real is in here. Jones in here. Stevie B. My dad's in here. Jonathan, I already mentioned you. Of course, you're always here every single morning. The entire crew, and I'm sure more people are going to trickle in. So, Yankees won a series. What's going on, Dev? Yankees just won a series, 2 games out of 3 over the Tampa Bay Rays. I know everyone, a lot of people were at that NYYU event. Unfortunately, they got shut out. But when Tats and Donald get here, they'll tell us their perspective. What's going on, Damien? Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know, Joan. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't know what's going on with Tats. He sent a picture of his computer, which is like a blank screen. So when he comes here, you can all blame him for that. However, how's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? How are we all feeling about the series? I think it was a good series win. Norman Soda, what's going on? Hi from Puerto Rico. Nice. Good to see you. Nestor proving he still has it. Absolutely right. Nestor twice now against the Florida teams has come out there and really performed well. And I think we got Donald here from the phone. Donald, how we doing, my man?
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm doing good. We're waiting on Uncle Tats. He's having some tech issues there with his computer. I'm sure you saw in the group chat. But how you feeling about this series win?
Delighted. I'm not so happy with the game I went to, but apart from that, the rest of the series was great. Soto's home run was absolutely monstrous. It was one of the highlights probably the highlight of the year so far. Was that 3-run blast, without a question for me. And really good outing from Luis Gil. He sorted out the issues with finding the strike zone, and he knocked down 9 guys, 9 strikeouts. Great, good outing from Luis Gil. Really important one, and some clutch hits from Verdugo. So yeah, it was all right. 2 out of 3, baby. I'll take that.
Every day of the week, Garcia. Good to see you. What the hell is wrong with Judge and Volpe? So I guess we can start there if we want to knock the negatives out of the way, because you see there in the title says Judge struggles as the Yankees take series. What are we thinking about our captain, my man? Because he is just not looking good. Cold Italian Pizza, what's going on? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. What are we thinking about Judge? Like, what do you when you look at his at bats? What do you see? What is wrong? Is it timing? Is it his stance? What could it be?
Well, he's leaving his lower half open. I think that. I think he's missing a ton of sliders off the plate. It's almost like similar to Stanton's issue when he's cold. It's just like it looks like he's leaving his lower half open, and he's just missing. He's just flat out missing. He's not seen great pitches, but I think the biggest thing with Aaron Judge is not actually Aaron Judge. Here's my reason. Following him will be Rizzo and Torres. If they don't hit, then he's not going to get many pitches to hit. Right? At the most, he'll get 1 or 2 pitches a game that you can go yard with and do serious damage with if Rizzo and Torres don't get it together. So I actually put it mostly down to them, because he's not getting very many pitches to hit. But what he isn't doing is what he was doing earlier at the start of the first week of the year, was he was taking his walks. He's not really doing that this past week. It looks like he's pressing a little bit. He's trying to generate power, and he's just missing. But he's not got many pitches to hit, frankly. And a lot of it is because what would you do as a pitcher or the other team? Would you be pitching to him? No. Absolutely not. I'd happily welcome and trust that I'm going to get Rizzo and Torres out, which has been fairly routine all year long. So until we get that fixed, then Stanton, the Judge is going to have to make do with a couple at best pitches to really do damage with. I think that's the biggest issue. We need to get more guys hitting, and then when more guys are hitting, then Judge will start getting better pitches to hit.
Yeah, they were making a point of bringing that up a few times in the broadcast yesterday. I think it was Kay and Nelson. They were like, "Oh, the guys hitting behind him aren't hitting too well," and that's how they're seeing how they're pitching to Juan Soto right now. They don't really want to pitch to him because they know he's going to kill him. So you'd
Yep.
rather take your chances with Judge, who's struggling, and if you don't want to deal with Judge, you'd rather take your chances with Rizzo, who up until the last couple of days was hitting the ball very soft, and Torres isn't hitting at all. So you're going to take your shots with the guys who are struggling. It was the same thing 2 years ago when they had to bat Judge leadoff because nobody else was hitting. So you pitch around Judge, you take your chances against the guys hitting behind him.
Exactly.
So until Judge starts killing them and making them pay for a bad pitch here and there, then it's going to be more of the same. Now, I do agree with what Damian said. You can't give him a pass no matter what. He's swinging at nonsense, and that is true because that one at-bat the other day where he got booed was one of the worst at-bats I've ever seen from him. It was 3 swings that weren't – it was the same exact pitch over and over and over. I mean, you were there, so you can tell – you can tell or you can hear the reaction in person. I haven't seen him look this bad since his rookie season in half his season in 2016, where he hit like 180, 160. It's been bad. So I don't know if,
to be honest, this is the worst I've seen him. This is the worst I've seen him because this has been going on far too long now. So I will call him out for the fact that this is going on far too long. Like, slumps. Yeah, I get it. Slump, fine, no problem. But this is kind of going on a little bit. It's going a little bit too long now for me not to raise some eyebrows as to why he's this bad. But a big part of it is the fact he's not getting too many pitches to hit, but he is swinging bad pitches that he shouldn't be swinging at because he's pressing. Because there's probably a psychological aspect where he wants to be the guy again. Because Soto is absolutely running the show, and he wants to start picking up his end of the bargain, and he's pressing. It's only natural. When you come up to plate and you see that batting average above you, like 160 or whatever the hell he's batting, it's psychologically gonna like make you press a little bit, and I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before he does get going, but it doesn't change the fact that these earlier signs of his season have been really brutal to watch, and I hate seeing it because he's the captain and he's Aaron Judge, and that he's going to eventually turn it around. And I think we've got Uncle Tats here right on cue as Sunil asked where he was. Tats, you with us?
I think so.
Well, we can't see you, but we can hear you. So we have half of Uncle Tats.
You got half of me. Here we go.
There he is. Tats, good morning. How are we doing besides the computer?
I hate fucking Mondays. I hate my fucking laptop. But I can't get too mad because I got to hang out with some good people this weekend. The other night, man, we had a blast at the game with everybody. With Medina, Anthony Garcia, Hector, Pete, Jira. We got to meet Dane Huber, who is everybody is as genuine as they come.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I got to hang out with him a little bit. He tried to get me drunk, but he failed. But no, it was a great experience. Everybody had a great time. And we'll get more into that a little bit later on. But to what you guys were talking about, because I was watching as I was waiting for everything to load up. Judges, I don't know. I think it's really mainly just the timing of it. I just think his timing is just off. And Spencer was actually messaging me while I was waiting, and he brought up a good point that maybe it's the umpire strike zone that just has him not sure what to swing at in certain counts, because he's swinging at pitches that to us look like they're out of the zone, but the umpires are calling strikes anyway, and the maybe, is there that possibility that the umpires are in his head because he doesn't know what his strike zone is, and I think I don't think that's the reason, but maybe that's a fraction of the of an explanation. I don't know.
I don't know, man. We were there, man. Did you see a situation where it was too many of that? I didn't see that. I saw just some really bad at bats. So I'm not going to blame the umpire. Sorry, not on this occasion.
But I don't think it's a point that could be dismissed because he does get a lot more. He gets more balls called strikes than any other player in the game, and he's held that. He's held the record of strike threes on balls out of the zone double over the last 2 years than anybody else. And that can play with your psyche. It really can.
You never affected him before, though.
No, well, that's the other issue. It's like, why now? There also was something brought up on the broadcast yesterday where they were bringing up the spring training at bats. His All-Star year and last year, he had gotten 45 plus at bats in his spring trainings that he's been productive. He had 27 spring training at bats this year. That is also something that needs to be brought into the discussion. Like I said, Judge is the captain. He got paid. He's been an MVP. He has the 62 home runs. He broke that record. But you know what? He's got it. We have to hold him accountable. He's as much of a part of the success of this team.
No one's above it.
I saw a lot on Twitter. Look, how could you boo Judge on Aaron Judge bobblehead day? Oh my God. Well, he sucked. This is New York. You're gonna get booed. Jeter got booed. Mariano got booed. Manning. Nobody is immune.
Exactly.
Criticism when you're playing for the Yankees.
He especially is not above it. I'm sorry. He doesn't have the resume of the fucking 90s teams for him to be above it. And if Jeter and Mariano, two locked in Hall of Famers, are already in the Hall of Fame, got booed a couple times. It wasn't like all the time. It was like once or twice. Then I'm sorry, it happens. And I'm sure Aaron Judge would say the same thing. He's played like shit. He'll admit it. I don't think Aaron Judge finds it an issue. So why is it even an issue? It's not even a question. I mean, the Yankees fans adore Aaron Judge. They absolutely adore him. They wanted 99 jerseys. It was all 99 jerseys when I was there. It was all 99 jerseys. The only reason why you boo is because we want to cheer. And it's as simple as that. We want to cheer. And he's not holding up his end of the bargain, so he's getting a little bit of a Bronx cheer. It happens. And as soon as he hits 1 yard, then everyone's going to go nuts again. That's just it's the nature of the beast. And I don't think Aaron Judge has an issue with it. So why ask questions? It's so stupid. Why asking Nestor Cortez? What's he going to say? Oh, yeah, he deserves to be booed. Like, what the fuck? What's the point in asking him that question? Do you know what I mean?
Randy Miller? That was Randy Miller, wasn't it?
It was so stupid.
He didn't need. Look, he acknowledged it. He said it himself. He's not playing well. He would have booed himself too. He said it himself. So there's your answer. And there's no need to ask all the teammates and ask Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone said he's Aaron Judge. He'll turn around. But also, it doesn't excuse him from the fact that he's been bad. He's been one of the worst hitters in the lineup. Let's be honest here. Yeah. Verdugo's been better than him. Rizzo's been better than him. Trevino's been better than him. So this is a guy that needs to step up because when he does start hitting, and he will start hitting, I don't want to hear any more excuses about his spring training at bats. We're 22 games into the season. He's had plenty of time. Yeah. Once he starts hitting, it's going to be fun. It just needs to happen soon. The good thing is, and this is something we talked about last night with NFE and Dane and everybody on the Twitter space, is we're doing this when we're winning. So it's good to be talking about these kind of things when the team has 15 wins in 22 games. That's a good sign because that means other things are going in your favor to where you can survive a slump from your second or your best player, your second best hitter, your best overall player, if you want to look at it that way. That's a good thing. Aaron Judge will start hitting. He's too good not to.
Oh, he will.
He does, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really fun. So we just got to hopefully see it sooner than later, maybe start as soon as today. I'm still confused why it's a 1:00 game, but I think NFE mentioned the lineup was out. I'm going to try to pull that up in a second.
Yeah,
but
I got.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. But let's not paint it like the Yankee fan, a scattering of booze, and it wasn't that loud. Scattering of booze, right? Let's not paint it like we were treating like Roger Maris. All the way through that time that Roger Maris at the 61 home runs, he got booed because his name wasn't Mickey Mantle, right? Now imagine that, right? You break the record and you get booed all the way through because your name isn't Mickey Mantle. Now that is rough treatment, okay? That's an incredible player who got incredibly rough treatment. That wasn't that case. We adore Aaron Judge. Everyone collapses at his feet, for Christ's sake. He's a king of this city, for crying out loud. So give me a break. A scattering of boots because he deserves it. Oh, it's all right. Me personally, I wouldn't boo him. I wouldn't boo him. But I don't give a fuck if anyone wants to. Fan how you want to fan, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And, gee, I don't know if this is sarcasm. I kind of hope so. But no, we're not hating. No, nobody's hating on Judge. Lynn and Jonah on the upper deck yesterday put it perfectly. When booing is a love language from the fans. It's because we want you to do so good that it's really just how that's how we communicate to the player. We can't just go up and talk to them about how their at bats were. When they do well, we cheer, we scream, we go freaking crazy. When you're not playing well, we're gonna boo, scream, and go crazy. Just turn
that we're haters. That's such a.
I don't think it's not a hate on Judge. We've been
not at all. Who's saying that? I think we all have 99 jerseys. For Christ's sake.
And 3 of them. I have
shirts. I got a picture of them on my wall. I mean,
dumb comment. Sorry, dude. That's a dumb comment. There's no hating for Aaron Judge. We're just calling it as we see it. And the thing is, earlier I was asked, what do I think? And I think it's less to do with Aaron Judge and more to do with the fact he's not getting much protection in the lineup outside of Juan Soto, because Stanton's been good. The rest of the lineup hasn't really been hitting around him, so that's why he's not getting too many pitches to hit. It's less to do with Aaron Judge and more to do with just getting everyone else kind of right, and then it will all fall into place. But the best point of all was the fact that we're winning in spite of this. We're winning despite the fact our bullpen isn't striking anybody out. I feel that's the biggest issue at the moment. None of our bullpen can strike anybody out, and we're still where we're at, which says to me that a couple of tweaks here and there, improve our infield defense, get a couple more guys hitting, and maybe get another reliever that can actually miss some bats. And this team, honestly, the sky's the limit with this team. This team can easily win 100 games. Easy.
Yeah. Look, Judge, I think Donald, I think you were right on with your your perception of it. Well, it's the timing of his bat. It's also the protection behind after him. If you flip Judge and Soto and the way Soto's been at the plate, Judge is going to see better pitches to hit because they're going to pitch him a little more aggressively and not try to get, because right now Judge is getting himself out, because they don't have to give him that. And I think it's a timing issue because if you look at the pitches that are missing, that are down the middle, he's just getting under them, and fouling them off. So that's why I think a lot of the other things, while it's, when if it comes into our comment section, we'll bring it up and we'll analyze if that could be a reason. But I really just think it's his timing. Maybe it is his stance. Maybe his bottom half is too open. Because those are the things that are obvious to the eye. There's no book that can tell you what's wrong. Use your eyes to see. Rousey's going to fix this. I have no doubt in my mind. He's adjusted with everybody else. There are just some guys that are kind of taking it, that are not taking the advice. I don't know if they're not taking the advice, because they're seeing it from, Rizzo, who's hit or miss. Torres is, sometimes he just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. But
has Rouson really fixed that many people though? Because it's you can't say he's helped Juan Soto because it's Look at the rest of the lineup. Look at Volpe since going to leadoff. The
Yeah,
dude's hitting like 1-something. Look at Verdugo up until like the last couple of days. His average is still kind of low, or it was low. Rizzo has barely been hitting, and he hasn't been hitting the ball very hard at all. Trevino is Trevino. That's going to eventually stop. Outside of Cabrera, I haven't really seen Rouson help anybody. And again, we're only 20-some-odd games in, so it's still very small sample size out of a 162-game season. But Aaron Judge doesn't need a hitting coach because he's Aaron Judge. Just like Soto doesn't need a hitting coach.
He also has his own hitting coach. He had his own hitting coach, for God's sake.
It's his own guy, so he doesn't need Rosen to tell him what's wrong. Aaron Judge knows what's wrong. I think in terms of the question of maybe flipping them in the lineup, the only reason I think you give it a shot is because Soto's command of the strike zone is so much better. Because he doesn't panic with 2 strikes. He can draw a walk down 0-2, where Judge, when he's off like this, he's going to swing at that bad pitch. Soto's not, no matter what. That's why I think if you try it out, it could work, but the same thing could apply to Soto that we're saying about Judge right now. Who's hitting behind Soto? They're not going to pitch to Soto. So at the best, you're going to have Judge on second, Soto on first, and here comes Rizzo to ground into a double play or hopefully get a base hit. That's what you're going to run into a lot of times. So it's up to Aaron Judge to just start hitting. And that's it. Once Aaron Judge knocks a few over the wall or goes the other way for a screaming double at 114 miles an hour off the bat, then they're going to be like, uh-oh, he's back.
He's back.
Now we got to pitch him differently. Now we got to be careful. And then Rizzo's going to start to feast. And then Stanton will start to feast. And it's going to be this domino effect. But Judge needs to start hitting and Torres needs to start hitting. And those are the 2 guys that I really need to key on. But if we're going to talk about Volpe now, since going to leadoff, his at-bats have gone in a completely different direction. I'm not seeing the same stuff I saw when he was batting 6th or 7th.
I think it's a slump. I don't see a big issue there because when he first got called up into the number 1 slot, he was great. I think it's a timing issue. I think he's just going through a normal slump. I think we need to be careful not to overreact regarding hitting coaching. I don't know, we don't know. We don't know how much of an effect individually a hitting coach actually does have, right? Because you can look at it in each individual basis. Volpe has been fantastic until this past week, right? That could be just a slump. I think he's doing great. He's doing incredible, right? Stanton's been fine, okay? He's actually been very good. Been very happy with him. Ozzy has been excellent. Trevino's hit better than expected lately. So, there's some positives there. But I don't think the credit is necessarily down on Rouson. I think Rouson's just putting through the organizational philosophy. And the philosophy is to start hitting pitches strikes better, to be honest, and we're actually got less uppercuts. That's the only noticeable thing regarding the hitting coach. I think we're just getting better at bats. We're drawing more walks. We're seeing more pitches. That I've noticed, right? I think that's what you can credit the hitting coach. But the rest of it, it's down to the individual. Rizzo, I mean, we haven't seen him hit since he got concussed, right? That's just the thing. His power hasn't been there since he got concussed. So we need to watch how that's going to develop. Torres, I 100% believe this is a mental thing with Gleyber Torres. I believe because it's a contract year and he's pressing a little bit. Because we've seen what he's like mentally when things are a little uncomfortable for him. He struggles on both sides of the ball. I think that's more of an issue rather than anything to do with what the hitting coach is not doing or doing. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. For God's sake, he's one of the greatest hitters I've ever seen. So he's going to be fine. There's nothing to do with the hitting coach. It's just a timing issue with him. And maybe it was an issue with the fact that he had that abductor issue. Maybe there's still that lingering effects of the fact he didn't have too many at-bats in spring training. That's nothing to do with the hitting coach. Juan Soto is just like a god. He's the best hitter of the modern era, in my opinion. And because he doesn't have a weakness. And that includes Aaron Judge. He actually doesn't have a weakness. And even Aaron Judge strikes out too much. Soto doesn't strike out at all. He's just a god at the plate. So and that's nothing to do with the hitting coach. That's just the individual. He's just fucking incredible. So I think we need to not look too much into Rousa. Rousa's putting the organizational philosophy in place. We're seeing more pitches. We're seeing better pitches. And that has been an organizational thing. That's something that he's done. But as for the individual, slumps happen, guys. It just comes, it goes. Volpe. I think that's what it is. I think it's just a little slump. It's been a couple of games. He's just a little bit off. And he'll be back. He'll be right back to where he was because he was batting like 350 before it. So I don't see an issue.
Well, that's what it is. He's kind of leveling out, with how his production. Because we saw at the beginning of the year, and we kept saying he's going to come down to earth. He's not going to hit 400 the whole season. It's the timing of him moving to the leadoff spot. Was that's got to be the reason. No, it's not. Because, like you said, we had said, those first couple, the first series he was at leadoff, he was extremely productive. And then he's just leveling off. He's going, and he'll find his rhythm again. I'm not, I have no doubt. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about because he's batting leadoff. That's where we all wanted him to bat. It happened sooner than we wanted, than we expected. But it's not like we're going that this is not who we wanted to lead off. So I don't think that's a factor of the slump. I just think it's just like you said, it's a straight slump. It's not good, and it's not going to last. Volpe's a better player than that to have such he's to have a Torres like slump.
I mean, again, it's still early on. He had a really good first 10, and then his last 10 have been sluggish. So the next 10 could be right back to where he was. We don't know yet, but it is the timing of it. It's like immediately say, he's leadoff now. So here comes the struggles. Look, he should not be struggling with Juan Soto behind him. I think it is a matter of time before Volpe does start hitting again. And the same thing goes for Judge, and D-Rod brings up a good point. Judge has been a top 5 in strikeouts since 2017, but when he doesn't hit, when he does, he kills the ball. Now he isn't, so the strikeouts are glaring. It's a good point. It's a perfect point. When he's not hitting, now you're like, oh my God, the strikeouts. But he's always been striking out. That's been his Achilles heel, is he strikes out a ton. But he was always a 280 or better hitter with 40 bombs on a good year. So you were going to forgive him for it. But let's talk some positives here because Sean brings up a good point. Shout out to Heel. Luis Heel and the pitching. Let's talk about the starting pitching in this series. It was good all around. And Nestor Cortez yesterday 2 days ago, came out there and played really well in front of you guys. And then Luis Heel yesterday. And then I think it was Schmidt in the first game that had a really good start. So the pitching has been really good despite the length not being where we'd like it to be. But Luis Heel yesterday, would start with him because he was the freshest one out of the 3. 9 strikeouts. The command was a lot better, as Donald mentioned earlier. He looked fantastic.
Yeah, Luis Hill. This is what we've been waiting on. High strikeouts. Quick innings. We were finally able to get a little bit of length out of him. I thought that was, to me, that was more positive than the strikeout to walk ratio. It was being able to get through the 5th inning with under 100 pitches. I think he was at 71 at the end of the 5th. I'm like, this is what we needed from him. And it's also what he needs, because it assured himself that, okay, I'm back, I'm healthy, I'm in my head in the right spot. So it's, this is exactly what we needed from Heel and what Heel needed to show us and Boone. Because first there were a couple of games where Boone had like that quick hook. Where it's like, all right, we're really trying to watch his pitch count. They're letting him they're letting that pitch count grow, and letting him go deeper into the games, as long as he still has the stuff, because his velocity was still there when they pulled him. So it wasn't like he was starting to lose it a little bit. He was still, mid to upper 90s on his fastball. So Heel is just fine. I can't believe the improvement start that we've seen from him.
Donald?
Yeah. So what I feel about Luis Gil is it's more of a mental issue rather than anything. Like he allows himself to get thrown off by the umpire. We saw what that absolute imbecile Hernandez did to him in that start, and it really affected him from that point on. Once he started getting squeezed by that imbecile, he was starting to his arm angle was completely off, and he just started walking the entire ballpark. And then the next start, again, he got squeezed a couple times, and it affected him mentally. And then he walked the entire ballpark. This time, he was much better. He was much more focused. The thing is, there's no one that could stop Luis Gil. And this dates back to his rookie year, the first time that we saw him a couple of years ago, prior to his surgery. There's nothing that can stop him. His stuff is ridiculous. His stuff is elite. His stuff is ridiculous, man. It's like 100 miles an hour fastball with a killer slider, and he's now worked in a nice changeup that really helps the pitch tunneling. And his stuff. There's no one that can touch it. It's no hit stuff, and it's not hyperbole. It's literally no hit stuff. His stuff is so good as long as he can find the strike zone. And this past start, he found it. And what did you see? 9 strikeouts, and there was only like 1 walk. That's the big thing. That's the big thing for him. Don't allow external factors such as umpires, such as tight strike zones, affect what you're doing on the mound, right? Don't try and be too cute with the strike zone, because at the end of the day, your fastball could beat 90% of bats as it is, right? It's that good. It's got a lot of movement to it. It's not a flat 100-mile-an-hour fastball like Aroldis Chapman. It's a fastball that moves. It's a fastball that goes high, runs high, and at that speed, there's very few. Only elite hitters can really catch up to it in the zone anyway. So he needs to trust that he can rear back and let it go from time to time, and he did that in that last start. Very proud of him, man. He's a young kid, right? But the only thing with him, the only thing that's going to stop him is walks. It's location with him. But this past start, he was fantastic. His first start, he was fantastic. It's just it was the in between middle 2 starts where he lost his arm angle a little bit and he walked too many guys. But I love this guy. He's one of my favorite pitchers in the entire Yankees staff, and it's not close. It's just a few things that he needs to tweak, but he did that last start, and I hope that continues. Very, very proud of that kid, man, because to go from where he was in that last start to get to here 5 days later shows a lot about his moxie, about his mentality, and his willingness to continue to get better and better. And I think he's got a trajectory where he can be an elite starter in the majors. Very, very happy for him.
2.75 ERA so far. Even in that last start with all the walks, he still managed to give you some length and kept you in the ball game, which is always a good thing. So, I mean, early signs on Gil have been fantastic, and we did see that 2 years ago when he was first here. We were all raving about him. We were so excited to see this kid pitch, and the proof is on the tape. I mean, if you want to go back and try to find the episode where we talked about Luis Gil a couple of years ago, it's there. We were all high on this kid, and now that he's got another shot to prove his stuff, he's been great. And then we can't help but talk about Mr. Cortez. He came out there the other day, and he gave you length once again. He was looking like the nasty Nestor of old. I wish we'd see more of that, and not so much the guy that gives you 4 1/3 or 5 innings max with a bunch of hard hits. But he was fantastic, and it's a damn shame they couldn't score for him to get him a win, because he should have gotten a W in that game, which is why wins and losses really don't matter for pitching records anymore, because that poor guy should have gotten a win there. But he was fantastic. So, Donald, what'd you think about Nestor? You were there live. Tats, you as well. What'd you guys think?
He just eased through. He was very comfortable, and he worked very quick innings, and generated very quick outs. And he gave us the length that we so desperately needed. We so desperately needed length in order to reset our bullpen, and he did that. So I can't say enough for him, man, because I'll be honest, I don't love his stuff, but it works. It really works. And he had a hell of an outing, an absolute hell of an outing. It was a nasty Nestor outing. So the most important thing, get quick outs, give us length. He did both of those things. And it's a shame that we didn't pick up the slack for him and give him a W that he deserved, because he earned it, man. He was absolutely outstanding. So shout out to Nasty Nestor.
Yeah, it also looks like he's trusting his stuff a lot more. He had a lot more confidence in himself that, all right, I'm not a high velocity guy, because that was kind of, his last couple of outings is what we've seen that, from him when, he was having that, that Cy Young first half, he was just lights out. And yeah, John, you're right. It's, they're an aggressive team at the plate, and he took advantage of it and kept them off balance. So that was something else that was working in his favor. He figured out a formula, to keep keep Tampa on, off balance. And and that's been the pitcher he has been. It's when he tries to be precise is when he gets lit up. That's when he struggles. He's not a precision pitcher. So, because he doesn't have the velocity to just throw it straight right past you. So it's kind of like he's finding again what got him to where he is. And you're starting to see that payoff with the deep, going deeper into games, because he's not wearing his arm out throwing 100 miles an hour 100 times. So, you're able to get that extra inning out of him. So I think that this is where Nestor's really starting to come back into his own. He's, and like Donald said, we needed the bullpen needed the break, and he gave it to him.
Yeah.
And
well,
it
the
just
thing with
sucks
him is
that,
mixing pitches. It's mixing pitches and mixing arm angles,
Yeah.
and he does that extremely well. He's a throwback guy. He's a throwback pitcher, and there was many guys in the 90s that didn't have elite 90, 95 mile an hour, 100 mile an hour stuff that were excellent. I mean, Tim Wakefield made an entire career out of one pitch, that knuckleball that went about 70 miles an hour, but it was all up all over the zone, and no one could get anywhere near it. So it doesn't matter about the velocity at all. It's about it is about location with him, right? It really is about location. If you're throwing mid 80s and you're locating it poorly right into the zone, the top of the zone, it's going to get tattooed, right? Like his location was perfect in that last outing, absolutely perfect, pinpoint location, and mix the arm angles, mixing the pitches, and that's what he's best at. That's his MO. That's what he needs to stick to. And I'm glad that he's kind of gotten away from that, from overusing that cutter that was cutting in on righties and the top of the zone, because it was getting tattooed a lot. He was doing better in terms of mixing it up a little bit, different arm angles. That was the key. That's the key. So it is actually precision with him. It's just location with him.
Yeah. Frederick, are you talking about the fake throw he did his last start or 2 starts ago, where he faked the throw? Was that considered illegal? Because I'm not surprised if that's the case. That should have been a balk. But
it was, anyway. Dude, the league actually made that illegal. Well, just informed the Yankees that can't happen again, because that'll just be called a ball. It was absolutely illegal. You can't do that. You can't pump fake, for Christ's sake. You're not a quarterback, right?
Oh my god! But it was funny. But yeah, it clearly was. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's a balk," and then glad we got the clarification on it. But the other starter that went in the first game was Clark Schmidt. 7 strikeouts, I believe, and 5 1/3. He looked really good. I think he must have like the most starts of 3 earned runs or less out of our entire staff. That's not Garrett Cole. Because going back to last year, he's constantly keeping you in the game. The issue with Schmidt is that he doesn't really give you a ton of innings, which, again, if you talk about a bottom of the rotation guy, you're not going to complain too much. But going into the series on Friday, we talked about what do we want to see. And I said I want to see length from the starters. And to a degree, you got that from Schmidt. You got it from Heel, and you got it from Nestor. So the starting pitchers answered the call this entire series against a good Tampa Bay lineup that always always tattoos us. So it was really nice to see. And so far, Clark Schmidt's kind of picking up where he left off last year, which is what you wanted to see. He threw his career high innings, and you're hoping he can get higher than that this year. But Clark Schmidt so far has really answered the call this year. I like what I'm seeing. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Dude, the starting rotation has not been a problem. Like, there's been what we've used like 6 starters already, and by and large, all 6 of them have been great. Poteet stepped in, and he was excellent. He actually won our pitching award in his one outing for the series, right? So he was been excellent. Schmidt, as you say, has a very nice run of 3 runs or less ball. He's been fine. Nestor Cortez, despite some issues in his first 2 starts, has been by and large very good since then. For by and large, I would say he's been excellent. And that last start was awesome. He's had 2 elite starts, Nestor Cortez. So that's all you can ask from a number 4, number 5 guy. Then yes, for Marcus Stroman, who's just been excellent. And Rodon has been fine. I mean, he's actually, if anything, he's actually not pitched as well as the other guys. He's not even Luis Gil's pitched really well, and Rodon's been fine. He's not really been a big problem. They just need a little bit more length from him, but he's been okay. So all 6 of our guys have been fine. It's not been the problem. Our rotation has not been the problem. The only thing I'm worried about is the fact that our bullpen doesn't miss bats. That's something that is a real issue. But the starting rotation has been fine.
Yeah, look, I mean, Schmidt, yeah, he's been fine. You know, you're starting to see. I mean, we had this in our head that a pitcher has to go 7 innings and then hand it over to the bullpen, or 6 innings. But he went. He did fine. He went 5 1/3, 7 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. He gave up 1 solo shot. For the home run for the earned. And he had no walks. So he's kept the ball in the zone. Giving up 1 earned run on 7 hits, and one of them was just a home run. So, he limited the traffic, and he's been fine. And Donald, you are absolutely right. The pitching has not been the problem. The only thing, if you want to critique anything about the pitching, it could be how deep they go, but not one pitcher has just gotten just lit up.
Facts.
Where they just haven't had it. Maybe the first inning against Houston with Nestor just looked, it just looked like we were going to get shelled.
Yeah.
But after the first inning with Nestor, those first couple of starts, he was lights out. He was just having those first inning problems. The bullpen's been the issue. And it's not so much that we don't have that swing and miss pitcher in the bullpen. It's trusting the defense behind these pitches. They're ground ball pitches. That's kind of what, the formula has been with the Yankees bullpen. Let's get these arms that can keep the ball on the ground. And they have that, and they've been successful at it. It's when you keep having defensive errors behind them, that's when the pitchers are going to look, the relievers are not going to look as sharp.
Okay.
I think that's been a big bugaboo with a lot of these outings from the pitching. The only thing I don't like is I think they're really starting to overuse Hamilton. These 2 outings. Weaver is also falling into that as well. They're using them too much. And as much as we're like, well, if they're doing well, keep them, why are you going to bring in another pitcher? And I know they're trying to stretch out the work because, like we were saying, we're not getting the length out of the starters as effective as they've been. So you see the bullpen budgets. That's a lot. They're throwing a lot of pitches. So they're not going to be as effective when they're, in their second day of work. So if the offense is holding up their end of the bargain, the pitching is not even really that much of a focal point.
Rob?
Yeah, but my biggest issue with it's not even necessarily that the bullpen isn't that good. I mean, a couple of guys haven't pitched well. Like Ferguson has had a rough go at it. Then again, I don't really agree with the spots they're using him in, because the first week they were using him early in the game, which was fine, but now they're using him in the 10th inning, which the last 2 times they've done the exact same thing. they lost in extra innings. So I don't like that decision, how they use Ferguson. Santana's been okay considering he was a minor league signing. I know his last outing wasn't great, but I wouldn't be surprised if they call up another arm in favor of him at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They could use another arm. Marinaccio with but 2-3 outings. He's looked okay. Overall, the bullpen is fine, but yeah, we do need more blow it by you, get some swing and miss stuff, because having an entire bullpen of basically the same guy is what our issue is right now. And Birdie being hurt also doesn't help, because he was like a swing and miss kind of guy, because he had the 98 fastball. It's just that when he was missing badly. But Canely will be back hopefully soon, and then they have plenty of arms still on the comeback trail. But Efros is also a ground ball type of pitcher. But I think overall, though, even with these issues, the bullpen hasn't been terrible. It's just been a couple of guys that have been getting roughed up a little bit. But even Hamilton, maybe they think about not using him in the 2-inning spot anymore. I don't know what they're going to do there, but they do need someone to take over that Michael King role. Maybe you give Beater another shot, like Joan brought up. Poteet should be back here at some point, because he's pitched really well in both the minor leagues and his one major league appearance. So they have options, which is a good thing. We haven't seen Cody Morris yet. He was just called up when they put Birdie on the IL. So there's another option. We'll see what he can give you. I think he's got more. He might have some more swing and miss stuff in him. And then there's Yoendrys Gomes, who's on the 40-man. He's a guy that can get you some punch outs. So they have options out there. Just a matter of whenever they decide to kick someone to the curb. Maybe Santana gets DFA'd if he has another bad outing or something like that. But for now, the bullpen's been pretty good. Clay Holmes has been pretty good.
That's been all right. Holmes has been great. Considering always puts traffic on the bases, he's always getting out of it. So, but here it is real though. Our bullpen has the least strikeouts in the majors. It's not striking anyone out, right? That's unusual, right? It's unusual, and especially with 2 strikes, it's even worse. We're way off the rest of the major leagues. We just don't strike anybody out with 2 strikes as relievers. That's an issue. It's a little weird, right? And also, I agree. This is a formula. This is how they put this thing together. This is how they put this bullpen together, right? It's Matt Blake loves sinker sliders. Let's just have an entire bullpen of sinker slider guys, right? But here's the thing. The other teams are going to get pretty comfortable with that, because you're not exactly getting them off rhythm, considering most of the guys have the same stuff. It's all ground ball. It's all inducing weak contact. It's all ground ball. So, that you're going to get fairly comfortable. So that's why they really need to mix it up, and they really need to add an arm that can seriously rear it back and strike guys out. That's why I do agree with that comment. Why not give Beater a chance? I know that he's being stretched out to be a starter, but I think our bullpen needs a little bit of a help now, because Caleb Ferguson has been a joke. Absolute joke. The 6.93 ERA, I believe, at the top of my head. And he has been absolutely horrific. You can't keep relying on that, because he's getting high leverage situations and he's not getting anybody out. So I do think it'll get better when Canely's back. Again, it's all just small sample sizes, but I do believe that is an issue, because you can't have an entire bullpen of guys with the same stuff. I know it's a formula, as Uncle Tat says. That is clearly a formula that they've got put together, where they're like, oh, well, Matt Blake will make this guy work because he loves sinker guys. Right, let's not have an entire bullpen out there, okay? Let's just try it. You can have a couple guys like that, great. But, especially with our rotation, doesn't miss many bats either, apart from Luis Gil and Rodon. It's a lot of contact. So that was something that flagged up to me. And this is not something where I'm just looking for excuses to complain about something because we're winning all the time. It's nothing to do with that, because I said that before the very first pitch. I said most of our arms in the Yankee staff right now is a lot of contact, and I think we need to mix the season. I did. I said it right before the contact. Yeah, I did. I was like, I think there's a little bit too much contact. I'd like a little bit more strikeout stuff. So, but I think that'll come. And again, the fact that we're talking about this and we're still winning every single series bar one is a wonderful thing. And it says to me this team's going to win 100, 110 games. I really do believe that. Because the sky's the limit with this team. They just need to add a couple more things. They need to just work on a few more things. They need to tighten up the infield defense. They need to hit a little bit more with runners in scoring position. And they just need to add a couple more guys that can rear back and let it go and consistently strike guys out. And this team will go very, very, very far. I'm very excited about it, actually.
Yeah, the winning is why we talk about it. We're not screaming about it. Yeah, that's the difference. But, Ferguson, I looked it up. He's got a 6.23 ERA. And Weaver's not that far behind him. He's got a 5.40 ERA for Weaver. So the two of them need to start upping their game a little bit and start tightening it up. But we are winning the series that we're supposed, and especially in a division, winning series like this this early in the season is going to pay off in September. When you start really looking at how the division's going to look. When you're looking at the best trying to get like best record, things like that, where you start really looking at, all right, how many games are we till having home field advantage? These series that used to be a throwaway, because that's the other, there's been not, we're not doing punt lineups this year, which is insane, but yeah, there are still things that need to be addressed. And that's why we're kind of calm about it, is because we are winning the games. But Donald, it is time for the series awards against Tampa.
All righty, let's start with the MVP. My MVP will be Juan. It's a one-man Soto. Juan Soto gets the MVP for me. Robinho.
Juan Soto.
Yep.
Uncle T.
That's a sweep for Soto.
And the chat.
Come on, chat. Give us your answers. You
Come
guys
on, chat. Let's go.
Your MVP.
Let's go. Soto for sure. We got one comment says Soto for sure. Soto, Jonathan. I agree, Jonathan. I think Soto's going to win this MVP. Anybody else? Soto, June. Thank you. Medina, Soto. Agreed. Clean sweep for Soto. Everyone says it. It's a one-man Soto. And I'm wearing a Soto jersey as we speak. And so he's the MVP. Low-key MVP. I'm giving it to Alex Verdugo. Alex Verdugo becomes a low-key MVP. He had a heck of a game yesterday. His at-bats have been very good. I've been very happy with his at-bats. He's been a really good addition. I was really happy when the Yankees, me and Rob were particularly really happy. I remember when that deal went through, even though they were like, oh God, he sucked in Boston. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, this guy's got good energy for the Yankees. He's gonna be a low-key kind of guy that's gonna help this team, and he's been low-key MVP this series. Let's pass it to Uncle T.
I mean, Verdugo, yeah, it's pretty good, but I think this was another series where you just saw Cabrera just involved with everything. So I'm going to give the low key to Ozzy.
Cool. And Robinho.
2 for 2 on us so far, Donald. I got Verdugo as well. He had a really good game yesterday, starting to break out of it. And the chat's pretty much in agreement as well.
With Verdugo, yeah.
D-Rod, Grisham low-key MVP because he didn't hit into a double play. Ouch. CVB, Verdugo or Holmes. All right. Medina, Verdugo. Miguel Batista says Cabrera. Sean Browning says Verdugo. So
looks like
Sean says everyone back to good. Yeah, so it was Verdugo wins. Verdugo becomes the low-key MVP. Happy for him. The Clutch Award. I'm gonna give it to Gonzalez for the diving throw out in the 9th inning yesterday, where he deflected the ball with a glove. Could easily have just been a single, but he wouldn't let that happen. Incredible reactions, and then making that diving throw to beat the guy out at first base. That was a hell of a play. possibly saved the game. So he gets the clutch award for me with that play alone. Let's go to Rob.
Mine is going to Anthony Volpe for his single that scored in a run right before Soto hit that legendary home run. I think that was huge to get Soto up in a big spot with a chance to light the stadium up, and that's exactly what he did. So I'm giving my clutch award to the shortstop, Anthony Volpe.
Love it. Uncle T.
I'm going to give it to Holmes for continuing his 0 ERA. I mean, Holmes has been really good. And even if he's also taken that mantra from the pitches, bend but don't break. So I think Holmes deserves an award on that.
Yeah, he does deserve a bit more credit. He's I mean, he's kind of saved our bullpen. Like low key, he's kind of saved our bullpen with the fact that he's getting everybody out. So it's been important. So let's have a look and see the chat. We've got a couple of things here. We've got Cabrera. We've got 2 for Soto. D-Rod says Gonzalez is our new Wandy. I don't know if that means that it's a vote for Gonzalez. So what do you think, guys? Should we give it to Soto in the chat? Frederick says Holmes. Don says Gonzalez. So
Soto's winning.
Yeah, I think Soto's got the lead right now.
We'll give it one more comment. Somebody else threw in a comment. Going once, going twice. Right. Right, we're giving it to Soto. Looks like Soto gets the clutch award. And then the pitching award. Let's give the pitching award to, well, for me, it's between Heel and Nestor. I'll probably give it to Nestor. I think Nestor probably edges it just because he gave you that length and he was excellent. So Nestor Cortez wins the pitching award for me. Just shows that I'm not biased in the slightest, even though Luis Heel is my boy. I'm giving Nestor the award. Uncle T.
I'm giving it to the starters. I think the starters were a key to the series. You know, it's time, series after series after series. The pitching is keeping us involved. They're keeping these games winnable. Regardless of how the bullpen goes or how slumpish the offenses looked, the starters have continued to just be like, all right, I'm going to make sure that we don't lose this game. And I think against Tampa, who in the Bronx, Tampa has been a pain in our ass, and they did not let Tampa run around on us. So the starting pitcher is getting my pitching award.
Do you know what? I think I might change it. I think I agree with you. I think it would be unfair to single out one guy because I think they all did great.
Well, when you started saying Heel, I thought you were going in the right direction too.
Yeah, Heel was phenomenal. Schmidt was really good. And Cortez was phenomenal. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to change my vote. I'm going to agree with Uncle Tats. I'm going to give it to the starters. Rob.
Uncle Tats stole my answer. I thought I was going to be original. Be like, I'm taking all the entire starting rotation. But there goes Uncle Tats.
Good job.
It from my head through the computer.
Good job, Uncle T.
We got 4+ years. We kind of think we're starting to think that's kind of scary.
Well, the chat's pretty much in agreement on Heel, so the chat gave it to Luis Heel.
Wow, look at this. Look at all the heels. I'm so happy to see all those heels. My boy, please. So he wins the pitching award. The Take the L awards.
Can I go first?
You go, Rob.
You two, because you guys have been to 2 games together, 19 innings, and have yet to see a run get scored. So both of you can take the L.
At least, you know what? I'm sorry. Take the L goes to Rob because he didn't bother coming. At least we went. All right, Rob, people in glass houses can't throw stones. How about you turn up once in a while to our events?
I'd love to go. 2 games, 19 innings. You have yet to see a run. You guys take the L.
You know what? I'm giving ourselves the L too for that.
No, I'm not taking any L. I saw a perfect game. How many of you guys see a perfect game? I ain't taking no L's.
Yeah. It
I
was
saw a
for the
near no
wrong
hitter.
team.
Yeah.
I did see a no-hitter. That's true. I've seen 2 historic events. Now, that's pretty damn good going. I ain't taking no L's. Rob takes the L for not turning up. While everyone was asking, who's Rob? We had to answer for him.
Blame my job, man.
Yeah, I do blame your job. I do
But
blame
my
your
job
job.
can take the L instead of me.
Exactly. No, take the L. Right. Is that really the answer? You're going with that? We're the L. Is that Rob's answer?
No,
No, I was
I
just
have
kidding around
my
with you guys.
L is Judge. You know,
Yeah.
the moments keep finding him, and he's not coming through.
Aaron Judge?
You know, yeah.
My boy, I agree. Aaron Judge takes the L for me. Rob.
Yep. Aaron Judge. He needs to get going. And we're not hating. We're just calling it as we see it. Aaron Judge, we're your captain. We need you to start hitting.
Fair and balanced. That's it.
And the Prick Award. I'm giving it to Caleb Ferguson for ruining our day. Well, no, it didn't ruin our day. Our day was fantastic, but he did ruin the game by coming in and fucking it up. So Caleb Ferguson takes the Prick Award for the fact that everybody came all over the world to go to this podcast event, to see Pete, to see everybody, meet everybody, and Caleb Ferguson just sucked, beyond suck, and lost us the game. So sorry, bro, you are a prick for that. Rob.
I was going to say Aaron Boone's rating. I'll give the Prick Award to Aaron Boone for putting him in the exact same spot he failed in a few days before that. In Cleveland, did the exact same thing. It didn't work then, and it didn't work this time. So congratulations, Aaron Boone. You're the prick. And you got a 6 out of 10, by the way, for the series.
Yeah, I was going to ask Uncle Tats, who's your prick for the series?
Ferguson should get it. I have to give it to Ferguson. It just you can't ruin our day like that. It's you were the last one standing that cost the W. So that
we got a couple of good ones here. Stevie B, MLB review team. Guy hit a home run in Rockies with a fan, but calling them out after because fan interference. That was Stevie B. I love D-Rod saying the winner for Sterling for getting that big ass TV. I want to ask, actually, you know what? That's a good one to ask the panel. What did you guys think of that gift for John Sterling? Is that kind of a fun gift, or do you guys think it's a little bit?
Was a fun gift.
Because he has like 7 TVs in his house, so clearly they're playing like a joke on him. It's like, where am I gonna? I think he said he goes, where am I gonna put this? Because they know he's like a collector of TVs apparently. So it was obviously just a little gaffe. I'm sure they gave him something else. Like,
I hope so.
I'm sure Hal and I'm hoping they gave him like something like really important behind the scenes. You know,
well,
that was clearly like a little fun gift.
Well, there are a few different.
Couldn't they have opened a platform at Monument Park? Sorry, Tats, but could they have opened a platform in Monument Park and made that the big gesture?
That's coming. We were actually talking about that when we were in Monument Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saying, we're going to see Sterling here one day. No, he's getting the plaque. There's no doubt. I mean, come on. How do you not? The TV, I heard a few different things. I heard that was from the manufacturer itself. They had the 65-inch for each year that he was in broadcasting. Like that was supposed to be the part of it. Right. So it was. There were a few different stories that went to the TV. If that was the one that was from the manufacturer, to commemorate each year,
right.
One, it's funny and also creative.
It was definitely creative. I definitely, of all the gifts to give someone that's been like an incredible announcer for 36 years, I didn't expect a TV to be carried out. I have to say. Joan says the gift was stupid. Frederick said it was a fun gift. Stevie B says it may be going to his bathroom. It was. I don't know. I'm a little bit off on it. I'm a little bit. It's a little. I don't know. It just looked a little weird that a giant TV was carried out onto the mound. I don't know. I think he probably could have given him something a little bit more meaningful. rather than a giant kind of fun gift. I think a meaningful thing like having a plaque there to be opened at the Monument Park or something like that. I think that would have been a little bit more reading the room kind of giant TV. Like, bro, come on. I think he can get himself a TV, but I get it. It was kind of fun, but
well, it turned into a bigger production then because a lot of players wanted to make sure that they said some words for him.
right.
I think it just kept snowballing into a bigger event than it was intended for, rather than him just coming out, being honored by the fans and everything. And it was like, oh shit, we gotta, it's like one of those, oh shit, I forgot to get a card, right?
May not have been enough time to make a plaque either, because didn't he just announce it like a few days ago? And then they're like, okay, Saturday we're gonna honor him.
Right.
I don't know how long it takes to make that plaque, so I'm sure they'll do something for it.
It was publicly announced on Monday, and by Tuesday they had the ceremony planned. It's not like they, like, all right, well, wait a month. They got right on it.
I think there's already something in the WFAN booth anyway.
Yeah,
for him, like a plaque for Sterling. So I mean, they can get one made. Just for Monument Park.
Exactly, they could do something. I'm sure the Yankees could have done it in 5 days. I don't know how long it would take, but anyway, that was just my opinion. I thought it was a little odd, but kind of fun too, I suppose. But at least Glaber didn't drop it.
Oh my god! When I saw him,
like
they were struggling. Right? They were struggling with that thing. I'm like, get some help. You got Glaber and Boone limping up the steps. You're gonna drop that TV right on Sterling's foot or something.
What would you give the Boone's rating out of 10? I think he gets an extra. I think he gets an extra point for the fact he carried that entire 83-inch TV because Torres wasn't much help at the back. Boone just manhandled that fucker all the way through the mound, so he gets an extra point for me. And the Yankees won 2 out of 3. Although he did, I don't know, some of the things that he did was questionable. I don't know. I think he left Santana in too long yesterday. I think he should have been much quicker off the bat with Santana because Santana looked absolutely locked in on trying to blow the game. So he probably should have been a little bit quicker to get him out of there. So I think that's something. I don't agree with Caleb Ferguson being in that spot that he was to blow us that game. So it's 2 against them. So, but we still won the series. So I'm gonna give him a 6. I think 6 is fair. Uncle Tats.
There's a lot of bullpen moves that was the first time we were like kind of scratching our heads about that he really could have been critiqued for. But we still came out winning the series, so I'm going to give him the curve on that and give him a 7 out of 10.
Oh, another thing was that lineup that he had for us on John Sterling's day. It was the first
6 out of 10.
It was an odd one, with Jones being there, and there was no Stanton, and it was kind of an iffy lineup with Mr. Out, Grisham playing. Do you know what? I think he gets a 5. That lineup sucked. Fuck that. Yeah, he gets a 5. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, I gave him a 6 because he did the exact same mistake he made in Cleveland, and it's like, oh, maybe it'll work this time. No, it didn't. So maybe you should stop doing that, Aaron Boone. Next time we're in a scoreless game or any sort of game in extra innings, don't use Clay Holmes in the 9th when you don't need him yet.
Yeah,
the game's tied. And don't go to Caleb Ferguson in a high leverage situation until he figures it out. You just learn from your past mistakes. I'm giving him a 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And the chat looks like 6. Well, Sean gives him an 8, which is kind of crazy. Sorry. Jones says 6. D-Rod says it was a day after a night game, so it wasn't a big deal. So good point there, actually, to be fair. So what do you think? Maybe give him a 6? I think the chat going with a 6. Well, that's our awards.
Now we get to look forward to with Oakland, and this is a series that it's a 4-game set. At least we don't have to go all the way out west for it. That's a plus. But the only thing I'm asking about this series, this should be a team that can get Judge going, please. Rizzo too as well. Can we get our bats back on track?
Yeah.
Their defense is worse than ours. So, I mean, they got a whole infield full of Torreses. So we should be able to really put some great runs up in this series. So let's get this offense going, and this could be a series to do it.
Have we got the lineup?
We got the lineup. Have the lineup. The lineup is out. Let me see if I can pull it. Here we go. All right. Anthony Volpe leading things off and playing shortstop. Juan Soto batting second, playing right field. Aaron Judge bats third and plays center. Giancarlo Stanton, the DH, he cleans it up. Anthony Rizzo's at first, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Gleyber Torres, who I don't know why he's still there. Alex Verdugo is batting seventh, playing left. Trevino is the catcher once again. He's batting eighth, and Ozzy is the third baseman.
Good line. It's basically the strongest lineup that we can send out right now.
Yep. It's legit. We'll see. I know I'm going to enjoy the games. I always do. I just hope, especially if they win. But look, keep running them out there. It's gonna. Like they said, you can't come out of a slump sitting on the bench. But they got to start snapping out of it. John, I hope you're right. I hope Gleyber does have a big game today. I hope they all do. I hope they all have the pitching.
Oakland's pitching stinks outside of Blackburn, who's got like a 1.8 ERA. It's Blackburn's really good. He's a guy that I think the Yankees could target at some point if because Oakland's always trading anybody that pitches slightly well. They're looking to move him. He's a guy that could be on the market for anybody this year. He's been pretty good. I think he was an all-star 2 years ago or last year. He's been pretty solid arm under the radar for a bad team, but he's their only good guy. Everyone else, like Alex Wood, has like a 7 ERA, so naturally he's going to shut us out when he starts against us. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that's usually the higher the ERA, the better they pitch against the Yankees. It's kind of it's that trend's got to stop.
Yeah, they're a get right game for bad pitchers. It's really unbelievable. We got to face good pitchers. Maybe we're gonna score 7 runs against Blackburn, and we're gonna get shut out by Wood.
This needs to be a get right series for our bats. Let's really take it to them, man. That team sucks. They're not even a real franchise right now. So torch them, absolutely torch them. Let's get the sweep. I want a sweep in this series. Uncle Tats, do you have some words for the very kind people that took the time to hang out with us on the event?
Oh, absolutely. I have a lot of kind words to say. Jonathan, Anthony, Medina, everybody, Dane, Pete, we got to meet Rod Thompson. He is absolutely awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody part of the MIYU group that were there, all the hosts, the friends, the subscribers that were there. Look, you guys sought out to make sure to say hello. I thought that was really nice. Because we were just as much looking forward to saying hello to you guys. So we're glad we got to meet a couple of you on a personal level. Having a couple of laughs, talking Yankees over a drink, watching the game. I cannot wait for the next one. So,
I agree.
Thank you.
Medina, Anthony, these guys were. I agree. Medina, Anthony, guys were just really nice guy. Jonathan, for sure. Just so many nice guys that have been with us since the early days of the Pinstripe Chronicles. So I can't be more appreciative of y'all that came and hung out with us and talked with us and watched the game with us. This is very, very cool. Everyone at NYYU are doing an incredible job. So salute to Pete and his team. And Dane is as genuine and lovely a guy as you can meet. So y'all who maybe didn't make it this time, next event, be sure and put that in your calendar and come over and come, because it's great. It's a really great day. They do a hell of a job. The Yankees as well. Shout out to the Yankees as an organization, man. They really take time. I mean, that's big ass suite, and it was filled out, and really nice food, and it was a really just nice event. Very cool. The Yankees, class organization. They really are. They really treat their fans beautifully, and broadcasters and stuff. So big shout out to them, and shout out to our fans, and shout out to the fans and supporters of NYYU, and big shout out to Pete and his team.
So on that note, we will be signing off, but we will be back on Wednesday. You can guarantee that. So just make sure you hit that like button, share this out with your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner, and of course, hit that sub button. We are creeping closer to 700 subs, so let's keep the family growing, because this is where fans become family. And with that said, just remember, as I always say, wear your pinstripes of pride and play hard.